Hey guys, welcome to The Sports Entertainer. We have a ton of major wrestling news to share with you guys today, but before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you never miss out on an episode. Bianca Belair leaving WWE after WrestleMania injury. Now there's no doubt that Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley put on a fantastic performance in their women's world title match at WrestleMania 41 last weekend, but unfortunately, it appears as though Bianca Belair suffered an injury during the match, which is now forcing Bianca to take some time off from WWE following the showcase of the Immortals. Bianca Belair sadly revealed on SmackDown this past Friday in a backstage segment with Byron Saxton that she suffered a hand injury in her WrestleMania title match. Now, according to a new breaking backstage rumor, Bianca Belair is going to be on the shelf for a relatively significant amount of time due to this hand injury, and the hope behind the scenes right now is that Bianca Belair will be cleared to return in time for Money in the Bank on June 7th, so in the meantime, fans shouldn't expect to see Bianca Belair on WWE television again for well over a month as she recovers from her WrestleMania injury, and let's hope the recovery goes well and she's cleared to return ahead of Money in the Bank. New members of Seth Rollins' faction revealed. Now, Seth Rollins has certainly been having quite the week in WWE, because not only did he end up winning the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania 41 in his triple threat match against Roman Reigns and CM Punk, but he essentially stole Paul Heyman away from both Punk and Reigns, and then on the special Raw after WrestleMania, Seth shook WWE up in a massive way when he revealed a shocking new alliance with Bron Breakker, and many fans have been speculating over the past few days regarding Seth Rollins likely adding more members to his new faction with Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker, and according to a new backstage report, that's exactly what's going to happen, and we have found out the two superstars that Triple H and WWE are currently favoring to join Seth Rollins' new faction with Heyman and Breakker in the coming weeks, potentially tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, and it's reportedly none other than Austin Theory along with Seth's wife Becky Lynch, who had just turned heel on Raw last week following her attack on Lyra Valkyria. Here's what one of our sources reported regarding Triple H and WWE's plans for Seth Rollins to add two members to his new faction with Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker in the near future. Quote, "After years of the Bloodline dominating WWE's main roster, a new faction that is set to take over WWE for the foreseeable future was formed on Monday Night Raw this past week, with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, who shockingly aligned with each other at WrestleMania 41, revealed on Raw without saying a word that they are creating a new destructive faction in WWE, with the first official member of the stable being the former Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker, who joined forces with Heyman and Rollins at the conclusion of Raw this past week, helping destroy both Roman Reigns and CM Punk. This new faction of Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Paul Heyman has been the talk of the town, so to speak, the last couple of days. And before we get into what we've heard regarding WWE adding more members to this group to really make it a faction, which is what's reportedly going to happen, for any fans wondering why Triple H has went this direction with Bron Breakker joining Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, the sentiment backstage is that many executives in WWE, including of course Triple H, are firmly behind Bron Breakker and want to make him a main event star this year, and him losing the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania was done, so that Breakker can move up the card and get the push that has been planned for him for quite some time. Paul Heyman's always been a big supporter of Bron Breakker, and the belief is that Hunter feels like Bron being paired up with not only Paul Heyman, but a super talented guy like Seth Rollins is going to do so much for Bron Breakker, and when it's all said and done, Bron will be a solidified main event player in WWE. As far as Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman adding new members to the faction, a faction that may get the name of Revolution, we have heard that it's likely there will at least be two more members unveiled in the coming weeks, and the two superstars that are strongly being considered behind the scenes to be added to this new faction are Austin Theory and Becky Lynch. Apparently Grayson Waller was considered to be the guy from A-Town Down Under to join the faction, but ultimately many within WWE's creative feel Austin Theory deserves this spotlight and major push more than Grayson, as Theory's the younger guy who has potential to be a major star for WWE for years to come. And despite all the rumors over the past couple of years that Triple H didn't like Austin Theory, we have heard through the grapevine that Hunter has always seen potential in Theory, but just didn't think he was ready for the spotlight when Vince McMahon was pushing him heavily a couple of years ago. That's apparently changed, and Triple H feels Austin is ready to get that big push now, so he's likely going to be added to Seth Rollins' new faction. When it comes to Becky Lynch, her heel turn on Raw this past week was a subtle hint of what's to come. Becky Lynch turning heel was reportedly done in preparation for her joining Seth Rollins' new faction, because from what we've gathered, Becky told WWE that she'd only return if there was something fresh and exciting for her to do, and a heel turn followed by getting the chance to work with her husband in a storyline was what convinced Becky, who had otherwise been content with her retirement, to return to WWE. Let us know your thoughts on Triple H and WWE planning to add new members to Seth Rollins' faction with Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker, and do you guys think Austin Theory and Becky Lynch are the right choices for being added to this new dominant faction? Or would you personally choose different superstars than Becky and Theory? Sound off in the comments section below. Breaking news, Gunther fired by WWE following Raw. Now there's a massive breaking backstage rumor to share with you guys to conclude today's video, and it's regarding former World Heavyweight Champion Gunther reportedly getting released from WWE following this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, as most of you guys are probably well aware, Gunther was indefinitely suspended by WWE after he had attacked Pat McAfee on Raw, and while many fans assume this was done as part of a storyline, a new backstage rumor has revealed that there are actually serious problems behind the scenes between Gunther and WWE, and Gunther being booked to attack Pat McAfee and then get indefinitely suspended was Triple H's way of writing Gunther off of television due to the real issues backstage, because of the fact that Gunther is wanting out of WWE, with one of our sources reporting. Now there's some shocking news to share regarding Gunther's status with WWE. Now fans know that he's been written off of TV due to his indefinite suspension, which came after he took out commentator Pat McAfee on Raw this week. But Gunther's removal from WWE TV goes far beyond a storyline or Gunther wanting some time off from WWE, like it had been reported through numerous sources. The sentiment that we've heard is that Gunther has been incredibly frustrated with his booking in WWE recently, with Gunther feeling as though Triple H had made a point to make him appear as the second-rate world champion in WWE during his run with the World Heavyweight title, and then the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, was being booked to not only lose his World Heavyweight title to main event Jey Uso, which Gunther felt was all politically driven BS, but that he was booked to lose in such a dismal way to Jey Uso by tapping out so quickly, a loss that made Gunther look extremely weak. Gunther feels disrespected by Triple H and WWE as a whole, and feels like we're entering an era where mainstream appeal and viral moments is all WWE cares about these days, specifically since Raw moved to Netflix from the USA Network, with Gunther feeling like Netflix really undermined his run as champion due to their constant request to Triple H to push Jey Uso, who they believe has a lot more mainstream appeal than him. The rumor is that Gunther stormed out of the arena following his World Heavyweight title loss to Jey, and made it clear to Triple H that he's not going to be disrespected like that ever again, and basically said he's going to quit WWE before they tarnish his image any further. And the rumor is that because of the fact that Netflix officials aren't very high on Gunther and don't want him pushed as a top guy, Triple H decided to grant Gunther's release to avoid any further headache, with it being speculated that Gunther's next move post-WWE is going to be AEW. Now, do you guys understand Gunther's reported real frustrations with WWE regarding his run as World Heavyweight Champion, along with his loss to main event Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41, and if Gunther has indeed been granted his release or firing by WWE, do you think this was a mistake on Triple H's part considering Gunther is looking to potentially join the competition AEW? Sound off in the comments section below. Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.